Is Amber really going through the trouble of relocating her assets to Israel so that Johnny won't find out about it? Well, let's just hold that thought. Amber has been called out for purchasing a significant piece of land in Israel, and as a result, her followers are wondering if she moved her assets to Israel in order to conceal them from Johnny, or whether or not she's actually trying to avoid legal trouble. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today, we'll be looking at how Amber Heard is exposed for moving her assets to Israel. Yeah, you heard it right. So, let's start our video. The dust from the US trial is finally starting to settle, but we don't think Amber has found any solace in her finances or in her house because the Aquaman actress has recently been spotted in Israel dining at a cafe in Tel Aviv with photojournalist Eve Barlow. The two were there together. You might be familiar with Eve Barlow, but we won't be talking about her in this video. Let's talk about why it was such a spur-of-the-moment choice for Amber to go to Israel, shall we? It was said that while Heard was in the Holy Land, she went to a bookstore called Halper's Books in Tel Aviv. There, she spent about an hour looking through the various titles available with her infant daughter, Una Page Heard. The owner of the Tel Aviv bookstore, JC Halper, claimed that the Aquaman actress purchased a copy of his book, The Bibliomaniacs: The Tales of a Tel Aviv Bookseller, and he posted a picture of her in front of the store on his Facebook page. Now, I will dip my big toe into the cesspool of Johnny versus Amber squabble and lay out a couple of facts in Amber's favor, he wrote in a Facebook post. She strongly supports Israel, Jews, and Israel's cause and expresses it by wearing a gold Jewish star around her neck. In addition, residents of Israel have stated that Amber Heard has been in their country for a considerable amount of time already. Fans of the star of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, Johnny Depp, can't help but think that Amber is either evading the wrath of the law or that she's concealing her assets from Depp. How petty. And in case you're wondering if this is true, well, paparazzi images have emerged on the internet where we can clearly see and identify Amber and Eve's faces seated at a coffee table enjoying a cup of coffee while having a conversation with one another. It's interesting to note that the locals in Israel appear thrilled to have her patronage at their shops, restaurants, and cafes. As was stated before, the actress from Aquaman entered Halper's bookstore as she was strolling around Tel Aviv in order to refresh or grow her book collection. This is an illustration of warmth and friendliness of the Israeli people, which can be seen in their treatment of the actress. According to him, Amber and her daughter Una Page had been browsing the shelves of the bookstore for more than an hour. Since JC Halper is also an author, he convinced the actress to purchase his book, and once she did, he took a picture of her and uploaded it on social media. You may criticize Amber Heard all you want, but you can't deny that she is beautiful. The female who shopped in my establishment on the previous Tuesday for over an hour with her toddler infant girl and a couple of pals was a humble client who was courteous, helpful, curious, and self-effacing. She had high literary taste to aid her ads. In point of fact, she did not reveal her identity to me until she handed over her credit card. In addition, she recently purchased a copy of my book, The Bibliomaniacs, and she has pledged to provide comments on the book, Halper said. It is not an outlandish hypothesis to suggest that she's attempting to evade the authorities or conceal the whereabouts of her riches. Amber's devoted followers have even offered her the sage advice that it would be in her best interest to transfer all of her assets to Israel, given that Israel acknowledges our judgments but does not enforce them. Therefore, there would need to be new legal actions there in order to recover. Perhaps now Johnny will leave her alone, or perhaps it is more appropriate to say that she will leave Johnny alone. A fan wrote, "I doubt she could still work in the US without having wagers garnered. If she wants to stay abroad and work strictly abroad, it could work, but maybe you know better and can explain how everyone with income here could get away with having said income seized by courts by residing in Israel." Another fan commented, "So you know that A, Heard has assets to hide, and B, that you would give her the same advice, the free money that she said she donated but didn't have, and the UCLA and anyone else that she's financially abused." While we talk about Amber's assets, she's apparently making ready to take a getaway within the desert that she enjoys now that her awful 6-week defamation trial in opposition to ex-husband Johnny Depp has come to a conclusion. The 36-year-old actress, together with her daughter Una, who's 1-year-old, is apparently getting ready to move into Joshua Tree, California into a 3-bedroom family home that costs $1 million, according to insiders. The home will reportedly be located in the city. Amber likes spending time within the desert, said the Mirror. It's the one location and the one place that she'll be able to get away from all of it. She feels very linked to the creative group there, and she likes to feel like she's on a trip. Joshua Tree is filled with cool hipsters and is simply her scene, the individual said. In the current months, it's given her time to ponder and escape the stresses of the case. He says, "It's given her time to get away from all of it, and it's a sanctuary." On the penultimate day of the trial, Amber had mentioned, "Maybe it's simple to neglect However, I am a human being. We're guessing the retreat would undoubtedly assist her to cool off after the trial. So, does that mean that Amber is running away to the desert hideaway that cost her $1 million? Amber Heard's deliberate desert escape drew quite a lot of consideration on Twitter. Whereas some individuals gave the impression to be in favor of her, the vast majority of customers gave the impression to be in opposition of her on the platform. Hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp, one individual wrote. You recognize who adored the desert cult leaders, Manson to start with. Possibly everybody ought to see her for what she simply is, her sister, the one who left because the others realized what she is. Amber Heard droned on about how very delicate her pores and skin was, one other added. Then she goes out and buys a mansion within the desert. What you actually must be reporting on, Sky News, is the truth that Amber Heard purchased a $1 million home within the desert but stiffed the kids' hospital out of cash. It's not a hideaway if she offers the press photos of it. One other wrote, good lord, somebody mentioned. But hasn't she donated the divorce settlement she promised to charity? What else will she lie about if she's able to lie publicly about how she donated all of the cash to a kid's hospital? She's a conniving, dishonest liar who lies. She is such a turd. After the trial, Amber Heard is apparently relocating to a $1 million greenback desert mansion with some hipsters. She's presuming she'll win? One individual fumed. And that's all for today's video. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section down below. I hope that you found this video interesting, and if you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. See you in the following video with some more of the latest updates, and until then, stay tuned.